Wait. Some of the worst gameplay I've seen all year.
Think that they're going to make any internationals or particularly dominate?
I don't feel like I think this team will just be okay.
Number 9. Right?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Nobody, myself included, had faith in Team Liquid going into the season. But within the month, they've already put themselves in the unlikely position to take down the second best team of last year.
Boo! Fight's coming, but the plant's gone down! It's too little! Too late!
And now are one of the 8 competing for the Masters Trophy in Bangkok, which was nothing short of shocking, especially when we think back to how they looked last year. But real quick, check this out, a new channel called Hidden Levels that explores the little known parts of video game history. This is a channel me and Zeph have been working on together, and we have just recently made a video looking into the creation and controversy of Balatro.
List of remakes, DLC, and new games stood a poker-like game.
As well as looked into the person behind gaming's most iconic songs.
Born in 1961, is a Japanese composer for Nintendo. He has written music for the company for over 4 decades.
So check that out, as we are just about to release a video diving into the history of the FPS genre. It's my most ambitious video yet, so it would mean a lot if you subscribe with notifications on, so you can check it out once it's released this coming Friday. Alright, let's get back into Team Liquid's underdog story. During the inaugural franchise season, Team Liquid started off well, with them winning the league in a surprising upset against a peak Fnatic team.
So much utility, so little time! He can't do it! Team Liquid! Doubted from lock-in, questioned every step of the way, but they have risen to the occasion here, Mike. They are your winners today. They are the winners of the VCT EMEA League, and they've done it against Fnatic.
And then appeared in Masters Tokyo and Champs. They were pretty uneventful.
The series done, and it turns out Sonic's suitcase, it was not for him. They send Liquid home.
This last year, after making a few changes around Nats to see if they could actually compete in the very top tier of Pro Valorant, it completely failed, as the addition from the remnants of an Apex team that was upset in the Ascension tournament was unable to perform, as Enzo and Mystic would then be dropped during the offseason after a 4-6 regular season, as they were unable to get close to making an international, let alone competing at the top like they wanted to. So yet again, Team Liquid went back to the drawing board, even finally letting go their longtime member Yumpy in the process. While Kiko struggled to raise to the tier 1 level in his rookie season, Liquid saw the promise and kept him with the quiet superstar Nats, who truthfully was coming into this season in a do or die, as he hadn't made any real noise since his heyday with Gambit during the early days of the scene, and needed to do something big right away in an international, or possibly be the next move Liquid makes. Luckily, they're going to try and help him as they bring in one of the most intriguing stories of last year in the Super Sub Patty Tech onto Team Liquid to see if he's actually the real deal as a starter this year. To fill out the rest of the team, they picked up Camo from Koi, who put up some solid numbers as an entry, and Chemic from Job Life and Fnatic for 2 matches in 2023, who provides this team a much needed flexibility in their agent pool. While there was some promise for this team going into the season, they really just looked like another middle of the table team in a somewhat boring EMEA league this year. Especially as their run started off really slow for this team, who was just getting used to the new roster around Nats. They did get one of the easier starts of the first round, as they'd be faced up against a Koi team that would really be a hit or miss in how they'd fit together, as they revamped everything for the season. Right from the start of the match, it was clear that Koi had cooked up some interesting new comps on maps like Fracture and Bind, with the Vice Tejo additions. While Nats and the team bet incorrectly that everyone else would be slower to take chances and would stick to the older meta. It did work on Fracture.
Every single angle, and that's what they do. 36 HP on Filu, but Movistar Koi have stolen Liquid's map pick.
On Abyss, they'd be able to dominate, with Kiko showing that Liquid made the right choice in retaining him, as on a deciding map 3 on Bind, they were able to pull the win out on the final rounds, as they were just clearly the more talented team than Koi. But the comps were hindering them greatly as teams experimented more. This came true when they actually played a competent team with players that could shoot back consistently, as Foot wiped the floor with them, as their Yoru cut through Liquid's plant defense, and Mr. Fallen's Tejo caused Kamo to give up 7 first deaths on Jet. They were dropped to the lower bracket in emphatic fashion, as Team Liquid was slowly proving everyone's expectations correct. And while even a hope to make Masters Bangkok was 5 elimination matches away, Nats and Liquid knew that they needed to at least finish in a respectable place, and maybe sneak into winning a championship point that would help them at the end of the season. So against Apex, they squeaked out another map 3 victory, with Kiko yet again showing the potential he had once in tier 2. And even PattyTech having his first really good map on Abyss as KO, making people remember his promise as well. They even pulled out Taeho on Haven after dodging the map the last 2 matches. Then against Giant X, they actually looked solid as Camo and Kiko went off on Raze on the 2 maps, showing what might be possible with this team that has explosive pieces. But what really got people to start paying attention to Team Liquid a bit more was their map 3 victory against BBL to push themselves into the lower semifinals. BBL before this match was starting to appear like the dark horse of the region, as while teams were confused how Yampi would lead the team, he did exceptionally well, upsetting Fnatic in the process.
He needs to run around, just 1 HP on Chronicle! Making his way, but it's not even half. The big swing and the delivery! It's back the knife to slice Fnatic down to size! BBL! Nobody could have predicted this!
But here's where Team Liquid would actually mark themselves as the European underdogs. It was a hard battle with Bind going down to the final round, with Nats pulling out some vintage flanks to win in the end, giving them the much needed advantage as they'd pull off a 7-round defensive win streak on Split to eliminate BBL.
You simply don't! A desperate attempt made, but the time was not there! Team Liquid, one of the last old gods to stand tall and stay alive!
And set themselves up against who they were expecting to be Fnatic, but Foot would come out of nowhere and upset them in dramatic fashion. Team Liquid were now in a real position to make it to top 3, especially as everyone in the team was fitting into a good agent role. And PattyTech, who had a quiet start, was becoming the super sub legend he was on Team Heretics. As against Foot, he'd show why he was so important for that team, as well as impact couldn't be seen as much on the scoreboard. His flashes in util as the initiator was huge to set up the rest of his team, to go plus 16 in first kills to deaths. Being the difference maker to stomp them on Haven, to survive their 4th elimination game in a row.
All alone as Team Liquid continue on the lower bracket dream run. And worried after seeing how Liquid just looked, this improvement slow and steady in the last couple of weeks especially.
With the now unexpectedly one best of 5 away from turning the entire league upside down in only the first month of the season.
So what is the focus going for the last couple of days? Yeah.
To beat Heretics.
Okay, let's
Well,
talk about
this year has already been filled with surprises, and this was the biggest of them, as PattyTech would be the only one from this old roster to be going to Bangkok, as they would sweep Team Heretics with it not even being close.
To the outcome. Camo to close. The time is of the essence. He has to stick this. Boo! Fight's coming, but the plant's gone down. It's too little, too late. And Team Liquid heralded in a new era by claiming the last tickets to Bangkok out of the hands of Heretics.
I'm stunned. 3-0 against Heretics.
3-0.
They've had an incredible run though.
They absolutely have. I think from when we first saw Team Liquid,
It looks
the team
scrappy.
we have now.
It looks scrappy.
Yeah, the
it did
first
not
one
look
was
good.
like, come on, what have we seen here? What have they been doing? What's this roster up to what looks like a real challenger here.
Is it wasn't just them aim diffing them, which did happen a lot for Kiko and Camo, but everyone was more dynamic than we had seen them all event, with some pretty wild comps being pulled out, with Lotus seeing the only use of Reyna in all of Tier 1 play so far.
Agent Select can see you. Oh, going to get any changes. What is happening?
There really is nothing to say other than that it was a dominance from the first round to the last shot.
I think the fair thing to say is the better team won, Team Liquid.
But they wouldn't be done yet. Nats was eyeing another regional trophy with Team Vitality standing in their way. And with how completely dismantled Liquid left Heretics, there was some thought that they could finish off the ultimate underdog run and upset what people viewed as the best team in the world. And here's the crazy part, they just about did it. They threatened to run away with it, winning 7 rounds in a row to start Split off, as the double duelist comp of Kiko and Camo on Raze and Yoru will definitely be something to watch in Bangkok. Then winning Haven behind some excellent calling from Nats, who with his signature cipher is built for this map. But they just didn't have the map pool, and the ever-flowing font of talent that Team Vitality has was just able to finally turn it on when they needed to reverse sweep Liquid to secure the trophy.
Lead by example. That trophy calls out to Vitality, and they answer the call. Safe's super team comes out on top, 13-8, and a dominant 3-match streak to close out your kickoff grand finals.
So want to know how I think they'll do in Bangkok? Make sure you subscribe as I'm about to release my stats-based predictions for the first Masters of the year, so don't miss out. Also check out hidden levels here or in the description.